recurrent task. When we talk about recurrent task, which now is our first session today. Recurrent task, it can be explained as those activities which are supposed to appear over and over. And it's you as a project manager to decide when do you want these activities to appear. Let's use an example. We have what we call inspection. To you as a project manager, you might realize that maybe not at all time you will be going to the site every day. But rather, you might say, okay, how about I visit the site at least every last Friday of a month. You might be doing your inspection once in a month. Like I think you saw, was it the Minister of Roads? Sometimes back he used to visit that express highway. Nothing, he was not going there every day. But you may decide at least after every 1 month you go and oversee what is happening. Okay? So for you to have what you call a recurrent task, and a good example is inspection. So if you want to do inspection, which is one of the recurrent tasks, you will go to hello, Solomon. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay, okay. I don't know. I think it logs me out. I don't know what's happening. So I was explaining about recurrent tasks. I said with recurrent tasks, these are activities that tend to be repetitive. And if you want to access recurrent tasks, you will go to the task tab. So while you're at the task tab, go to the ribbon. Among the ribbon where you're seeing insert, there's again task. Just go to the next one. Yes, so click on that drop down. And then there's an option of recurring task. Now, there's where you can now decide how often do you want to do these activities which are recurring. So I want it to have a monthly, maybe you're doing it on a monthly basis. Go to monthly, and then you want it to be the 4th week. So click there. So there's an option of there. The next one, after day, the next column, there's an option of there. Good. So you want to, so basically what I want to create a scenario is you are visiting that site every fourth Friday of every month. So ile Friday ya mwisho ya mwezi is when you're going. So you read there the fourth Friday of every 1 month. Okay. So go ahead and click OK. Okay. One thing we have not done, we have not give it a name. So we were supposed to say this activity which is recurring. We should give it a name. So let's just go back to task. And then recurrent task. And then, yes, under task name, you can write there inspection. And then you want inspection to be on a monthly basis. And it should be on the fourth week, the fourth Friday of every month. So click OK. So you can see that you have inspection as an activity which appears there. If you don't want the inspection to be done on a monthly basis, you can even do it on a weekly basis. Maybe you can say every Monday of every week. You can make it on a weekly. And then you want it maybe on Monday. And then go ahead and click OK. So you have to give it a name. You can call it inspection 2 or inspection something. So you can undo first so that you give it a name. Undo, yes, go to task, the current task, and then give it a name. You can call it inspection 2. Inspection 2, you want it to be on weekly and you want it to be every Monday. Select Monday and then go ahead and OK. So click OK. So you realize you have several inspection and they're displayed there. Okay. So basically that's how you can create inspection as part of your activity. So basically what you're talking about there is activities which are recurring. Let's go and talk about group by and sort by function. Let's talk about group by and sort by function. And when you talk about group by and sort by, this is where you want just to view your activities. So when you say group, this is where you can just decide to group specific activities. Maybe you might decide to group the way you view activity based on responsibility and maybe the type of activity. You might want to group your work ikuonyeshe responsibility na pia ikuonyeshe type of activity. So in terms of responsibility, there are names of those individuals. In terms of type of activity, it can show you if that activities are critical or not. When you talk about filter, this is where so group, you'll see all the activities, but again, it has been grouped, zimegawanywa. But when you say filter, you will not see all the activities, but rather you'll see, it will be filtered. I'm sure we understand what it means by filter. So let's just go and apply the concept of group by and sort by, so that we see how that will go. Group by and sort by. So I want you to go to the view tab. So you see how to apply that, view. And then you will see an option of group by. So at the moment there is no group. So click where you're seeing no group. So click there. Click on the drop down. So the drop, yes. And then if you go down there, you will see an option of new group by. Okay. So click on new group by. New group by. Good. So you want to group by what? So go to that option where it's written field name, group by field name. Okay, so the first one, group by. So click at the middle where you're seeing group name. Yes, there's a drop down there. Perfect. So maybe you want to group by in terms of critical activities. So you might select their text, because type of activity was a text. And then in terms of text, I want you to select, so click on the drop down. You can select maybe type of activity. Type of activity, it's just there. You have passed it. It's text. Okay, just scroll down. It's text number 12. Good. And then just apply. Good. Now, if you look at your work at the moment, so we have the first, you can see the first that activity 18 and 20. So go to the column where we have the name of the activity. So go to the first column where you're having names of activity. So you're seeing type of activity. So concrete, and then kuna erection of steel frame and hollow rib floors, those are the critical activities. But the rest of activity you're seeing right from activity 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way down are the one referred to them as non-critical. So according to Solomon's work, you can see the first 3 activities are the one which are critical, the one which was being handled by John, Mark, and Leah. So how about you want to group by both the type of activity and also responsibility? So go to group by, and then go to new group by, and then select text there, field name, drop down, and then write text. Okay, take type of activity, and then go to the second one, then by yes, then select responsibility, which is still a text. So select responsibility, yes, 1. Responsibility 1 is okay. Then apply. So what are you seeing there? What you're seeing is now you are viewing your project based on either the type of activity, critical or non-critical, and you're also seeing activities that are being handled by an individual. So if you want to know the activities that are being handled by John and they're critical, you'll be able to see them. Activities that are handled by, let's say, Jen, and they're non-critical, you can also be able to see. What I'm saying here is you are viewing everything, but you can be able to display your work based on a certain choice. Let's see what's the difference with the filter. And if you want to remove the group by function, so just go where we're seeing group 2. So just go to group by, and then select the option of clear group. There's a provision for clear group. Clear group. So you realize now you're back to square one. You have not filtered, sorry, you have not grouped any arrangement. Let's see how filter by looks like. So go to the no filter, yes. And then new filter. Select again new filter. And the only difference with group by and filter is now you select a certain, the only thing you select is the one which is going to be displayed. So go under field name. Under field name, select of course, we want to get the critical activity. And you know, critical activity is when the total slack is equals to 0. So there, select duration or total slack. And write there total slack or duration. I will just write total slack because something which is good. So select total slack. And then under text, the next column, which is text, good, equals to. So click on the drop down, equals to, and then the value equals to, and then the value, I want it to equate it to 0. So right there 0, and I don't know if it's possible, like write 0, 0, like the value 0, good. And then you can also introduce function, whereby you might say you want to see only activity to which total slack is equals to 0, and So come to the next row. Go to the next row, the first column in the next row. First column. With the first column. First column where you're seeing and or. The next one, the first one. Good. So if you click there, this is how you can combine a condition. Do you want to say total slack equals to 0 and? So immediately using a function and, it means you're making both of those conditions to be mandatory. If you're using or, it means either of those conditions will be selected. So you
Hi,
might say,
George.
yes.
Could you please repeat from the beginning? I'm lost a bit.
With the function of filter.
Yes.
Okay. So Solomon, cancel that so that we start. Just close it. So we say filter is just to filter. Unataka kufilter certain activities. And with these activities, you want to see activities which has a total slack which is equals to 0. You know, if a total slack equals to 0, it means that one is a critical activity. So you'll go to filter and then new filter. New filter. And then